And what's happening, everyone? It's Kyle for Magpie 24/7, and I thought I'd put my input in on this one. Yeah, utter dejection. Just total failure, to be honest. Biggest game of the season, Steve Bruce called this one a must-win game by many sections of the fan base. In fact, all of the fan base, I'd say, said this was a must-win game of the night. Brighton 3, 1 win in 20. Brighton, 1 win in 20 at home, and haven't scored any more than one goal at home in a winning game for a very long time. Brighton 3, Newcastle United 0. Now, yeah, it's just total and utter failure, just relegation. It's coming in it. You know what it is? It's the first time in. I mean, I've supported this club since I was about 5 years old. 24 now, I know, looking at it on, but 19 years I've supported Newcastle, right? I've seen some shit. I've seen some shit under this Mike Ashley regime. And I've always stuck by them. I've always supported them. I've bought all the tops. Supported them any which way I could. Stuck by them when many didn't. Bought season tickets when many didn't. I've done my odd protesting outside Sports Direct and all that, but I still went into the stadium. You know, I still support the team. If I wasn't at the games or travelling away, I would be watching it at home. And in them 19 years, I'd always see the end of a game, no matter how bad it was. I'd always stick by them. I'd always watch them, no matter what. Tonight was a first for me. That third goal went in from, I think it was Magpie who scored from the cross. I turned it off. It's the first time in my life I've ever turned off a match in the middle of it or just called it quits there and then. It's the first time and it's the only time I've done it in 19 years. That's how bad. That's what Steve Bruce has took me to. Do you know what I mean? The last time it was at a kind of a breaking point with Sheffield United, and I compared him to Steve McClaren, compared him to John Carver, and said he was on a level with their managers. I think he's worse, because if you look at Steve McClaren's last 20 games in charge, he won 6, he drew 3, then he lost the rest, 11. Steve Bruce has won 2 in 20. McClaren won 6. Steve McClaren won 3 times the games as Steve Bruce in his last 20 games as Newcastle United manager. Let that sink in. Honestly, let it sink in, because that's where we're at. The worst thing is, the club won't do anything about it. That's the worst thing. The club will just allow this to idly go by and just move on to the next one. And as Bruce has said in his pre-match press conference, his post-match press conference, another complete and utter load of shit. Because I turned Sky back on to see what he had to say for himself. Says he takes full responsibility, even though he won't. He'll blame someone else. He'll probably blame Ryan Fraser or something tonight. He blamed Sean Longstaff for the last one, didn't he, against Sheffield United? The last breakdown defeat. He blamed someone else. Or every other defeat, he blames someone else. Constantly blameless. Steve Bruce, it's never your fault. And he's talking about experience and stuff. What experience, mate? You've been relegated twice. You've never finished any higher than 10th in your managerial career in the Premier League. And even if we got relegated, your experience in the Championship is the last team you had. Well, you had the best budget and you were 13th with 3 wins in 13. You sit at Newcastle 2 in 20 and you're still in a job. It's beggars belief. It really is. The emotion is just completely dejected from me right now. Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, me and Paul will rock up the podcasts. We'll do our podcasts and stuff, right? And it's like, we're saying the same shit every week. We're saying the same stuff every single week. and the club isn't learning. Steve Bruce clearly isn't learning. The staff ain't learning from the mistakes. So if two average Joes on a podcast, right, can see what is going on at the club from the outside looking in, how can't the staff, the manager, the owner not see what's going on? Because what Bruce's saving grace last night was probably Fulham getting beat. Because if Fulham had turned our leads and we were sitting in the bottom three tonight, his job would have probably been unsafe. He would have probably been having a meeting to save his job. But now, Fulham's kept him in a job. Simple as that. We're not in the bottom three, so it's sort of hunky-dory and Ashley Land, isn't it? It's just total dejection. That's how I feel. I'm just so sick of the way this club's run. I'm sick of the way the club is. I'm just sick all around. It's mental. It really is. Like, as a fan, I mean, you're watching this now. You've probably seen some shit over the years where your loyalty's been tested and you've been like, what a load of shit. Do you know what I mean? But this one's a real test. It's like a real test of loyalty. Like, in about 20 years, I'll be able to tell my kids, I'll be able to tell my grandkids in 40 years' time, when I'm still supporting this club, and you probably will be as well, telling your kids and your grandkids or whatnot, if you're of my age, saying, you should have seen under Steve Bruce, we were flipping shit, because I've never known Newcastle in all my life to be as bad as we are at the moment. We are beyond terrible. We're just shocking. I mean, Sheffield United had won none the first 16 games they beat with. Brighton win one home game in 20. We rock up the beat with. West Brom, the most goals conceded at home in the Premier League, we don't score against them or beat them. And Steve Bruce keeps saying, well, like I've said it many times, it's an accumulation of points. To which the response always is from myself, who are you going to accumulate the points against when you're rocking into West Brom saying it's not a must-win game, when you're rocking into such and such games and saying it's not a must-win game? How on earth can you sit there and say it's an accumulation of points when you're not accumulating any points? 2 wins in 20 games, you know, off the top of my head, 10 points out of the last 60. Come on. How are you? Do you know what I mean? You're not accumulating points. It's worse than below average. It's shocking across the board. It is absolutely abysmal. And like I'm past the point of anger. It's just utter deflation, dejection, just failure, relegation. And I've seen we get relegated twice, and I still never walked out or stormed off or turned me from telly off or turned the channel over. I did the night, first time. I hope it's the last, but if we keep this manager in charge, there might be one day the telly or the channel changes, or I walk out and I never walk back in again. Because if they don't sack Steve Bruce, in fact, just cut that. You know what I mean? Objectively speaking, Newcastle United, the football club, deserve everything they're getting right now. The fans don't deserve it. The fans stick with the team no matter what. Do you know what I mean? Best supporters in the world. I truly mean that and I believe that. Best support in the world with probably one of the worst set of owners, worst set of staff, and worst manager I've probably ever seen. And you've got arseholes, and I mean pure arseholes, who just don't look or watch Newcastle United, and they'll sit there and they'll say, oh, them Geordies just expect the entertainers days and all that. Paul Merson the other day, like, I think you need to sort yourself out, mate. Honestly, you really do, because if you think we, in the position we're in, expect entertainers football with Les Ferdinand and Ginola and all that, you need to give your head a spin. 2 wins in 20 games, and we're being told that we expect too much. We just want our team to show a bit of passion and a bit of fight, something they didn't have the night. We went 1-0 down and we didn't do anything. It was 0-0. Before 2 minutes into the game, we're not pressing, we're just sitting off them. Then we'll move to a 4-5-1 against a team that can't win at home. Just like Sheffield United, 5 at the back, we're free holding midfielders against a team that can't win. It's so difficult to be a Newcastle United fan at the minute. It's really difficult. I don't know where we'll go from here as a team. We've got Tottenham next after the international break. And it's like last time under McLaren, we got beat off Chelsea and there was an international break. And they stuck with McLaren, and then the game afterwards, it was a crunch match and they got beat 3-1 off Bournemouth, and then they had to sack McLaren. Is that what it is now? Is Tottenham the crunch match, is it? Because he should have been sacked 2 months ago after the Sheffield United game. He should have been sacked then. But yet he's still here and he's still saying he won't give up. He's saying he's not good enough. 2 wins in 20. Says we'll play well. But he won't quit. You know why? Because he's got what reported £3 million pay packet. Compensation if he gets sacked. He's holding this club to ransom. He's taking the piss out of the situation because he knows Mike Ashley is Mike Ashley. He won't sack Mike Ashley. Mike Ashley is a tight bastard, and he knows Mike Ashley won't sack him. He won't unless he absolutely has to. So he's taking Mike Ashley to the point of absolutely have to instead of just walking away. I mean, yeah, the club is in disarray. I completely agree with what you're probably saying now. Like, that the club is useless, but Steve Bruce is taking advantage of the club being useless to stay in a job. Either that or get a couple of million payout. He's holding the club to absolute ransom. He's holding the fan base to absolute ransom. And honestly, there was someone who said on Twitter the other day, and I didn't agree with him at the time, but I agree with him now. If they're not going to sack Bruce, then I do look forward. Even if it's 10,000 in that stadium for Sheffield United, I do look forward to seeing what the fan reception is for that game. Because I expect nothing short of the bloke getting just verbally destroyed, because he deserves it. He really does deserve to get a verbal hammering off the fan base. And I wish nothing against him personally. I wish him in good health. You know what I mean? I wish him in good health and his family, but as a manager, he is a useless manager. Beyond the point of reckoning. It's just, he's shit. He's shocking. And Deer in the headlines doesn't cover it. It really doesn't. Like, the club have got to act now. Fair play to the lads outside of the stadium after the game, more flags. Fair play is. The club aren't looking up and noticing what's going on. It's just the same shit, isn't it? Like, we can make 100,000 flags. They're not going to listen. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to listen to what Steve Bruce has got to say. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to listen to what we got to say. They either sack Bruce now, or it's going to be a third relegation for Mike Ashley in 11 years. Or 12 years, sorry. For a club like Newcastle United, it's absolutely criminal. But I thought I would do a bit of an update or whatever after the game, because I've went around the fan channels and stuff and seen what people have had to say, and it's just pure dejection among the fans. It's like the wind's been taken out of them. It's been taken out of me as well. I'm usually try and be a bit bubbly and a bit upbeat, and this has been one hell of a video in terms of depression mode. But yeah, hopefully the next time you hear from me, Paul, on Magpie 24/7, Steve Bruce has been relieved of his duties. Sadly, I don't think it will be, but yeah, it's a difficult one. But yeah, if you want to listen to the podcast tomorrow, we're going to be joined by Gallagher Shots' own Jack Brody, a talented lad I've known since he joined the lads and lasses at Gallagher Shots. Very talented, and going to get his opinion on things tomorrow, see what he thinks of the current state of the club. So if you want to check that out, we're on Spotify, and eventually the official launch is coming, but we're going to be on YouTube as well. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter and all that shit as well. So if you wanna check out on Magpie 24/7, you're more than welcome to. But it's more the same of this. Sadly, this depressed face at this current moment in time with the feeling around the club. But yeah, I'll love yous and leave yous for now, and hopefully that was the last time we see Newcastle United under Steve Bruce. And I'll see yous later.